Rockies and Dodgers in Game 3 of this series in what feels like the most important game of this series. Taylor McGregor, Ryan Spilborgh's looking to see Tyler Anderson dominate. And
wait. Most important game of the series? We gotta switch it up. Hold on. We gotta switch this out. A huge game. Let's show you exactly why we are where we're at. Taylor, take it away.
Okay, so on this road trip, the offense really has not showed up. Numbers may not always tell the full story, but in this case, they do. Average, Rockies batting just 166, only 7 runs throughout those 5 games. Extra base hits just 5. Those runners in scoring positions, Billy, 3 for 30. This is not the kind of offensive production you need if you're chasing the NL West.
That's right, and that's why the Rockies tonight are going to go with a little bit of the youth. David Dahl's going to be in the lineup along with Ryan McMahon, and it's a perfect matchup for David Dahl. This is somebody that's extremely dynamic. We're talking about bat speed. You're going to need it tonight against a guy like Walker Buehler. That's why the Rockies are looking to put him in that middle portion of the lineup. He'll be hitting third tonight, right in front of Nolan Arenado. The Rockies need this win. That's plain and simple. That's what it's coming down to. And for us to look at it and count on 2 young rookies to pull them through this must-win game, it's a lot of pressure on some young guys. But Taylor, as you know this, young people, in moments like this, they tend to step up and do extremely well.
You know what I say? What? Just call Dahl. That's what social media is saying. You know what else I'm saying? Spilly, going with the rally here.
Yeah, we're going to go rally here.
It's going to mess it up. We'll see you back. Baseball after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You will see it for long. Another beautiful evening in Southern California, and the Rockies, before they depart, want to produce a W and erase the memory of the first 2 days here in Los Angeles. It'll be another big house at Dodger Stadium. Final matchup of the regular season between Colorado and Los Angeles. And the Rockies have fallen a game and a half behind LA for the top spot in the very competitive NL West. Charlie Blackmon homered last night to give the Rockies a brief 2-1 lead. That came against Clayton Kershaw. Here's the Southwest batting order this evening for Buddy Black, and he's trying to shake things up. Again, the Rockies with just 7 runs so far in 5 ball games on this trip. DJ will bat second. Then it's David Dahl in the coveted third spot. Nolan slides to the cleanup spot. Gerardo Parra's been swinging it effectively. He'll bat fifth. Ian Desmond. Ryan McMahon is in there at first base, batting 7th. Chris Iannetta, back-to-back starts for Chris. And then, of course, Tyler Anderson. And they're facing one of the best young arms in baseball in Walker Buehler. They did see him in the homestand in Denver, and they scored 4 runs against him. So hopefully they can build upon that, because if you look at all of the numbers that this 23-year-old from Vanderbilt has put together, it is most impressive.
Yeah, this will be his 5th start against the Rockies this year. He's 0-1, but has a 3.24 ERA against the Rocks. And I think the key tonight when you're looking at Walker Buehler, because his fastball is 96 mile an hour, he will also cut it, but his curveball, that's the dynamite pitch for him. You got to stay off the high fastball.
Well, he swung a high fastball, and one of the interesting things will be how this game is adjudicated by the home plate umpire, Tony Randazzo. Last night, Bill Welke had a consistent zone. It was consistently very, very small. 5 walks for Kershaw, 4 walks for Kyle Freeland. This Tyler Anderson needs to live on the edges. Fastball, and it's lined to center field. That's a great start. 0-2, 98 mile an hour heater, and Charlie said, you're not getting it past me.
Yeah, but where
so
was it?
Blackman continues to swing it well. That's a 12-game hitting streak.
Yeah, where was that pitch? It was down, though. Yeah, watch where this is. I was talking about you got to make sure you get it down, and that was right at the knees over the middle portion of the plate on the Subaru Supermo. And what a start for Charlie Blackman. And this guy has just been a machine. When there's been some other things that have been going wrong on this road trip, guys not getting hits, Charlie is not one of them.
He's now 4 for 13 against Buehler. He's 6 for 18 on the road trip, to underscore the point Jeff just made. He has been swinging it. DJ, he's hitting a little bit of tough luck on the trip. He's 2 for 19, but it feels like he's been better than that.
We had that game in LA, or excuse me, in San Francisco, where he lined out a couple different times.
He went 0 for 4 and he barreled 4 baseballs. It was just a tough luck day.
And then last night hit that shot that Justin Turner snagged.
That's in the zone at 97. It's 0-2.
It's kind of a free and easy too, 97. Last year when he came up, he was constantly hitting 100.
He has a high spin rate fastball. It's going to maintain its plane. Grandal is behind the plate handling him. It's a slider and it gets away momentarily. Charlie cannot advance.
Well, DJ was trying to wait for him to go, but it's so hard because the base runner's not focused on the guy at the plate. He's focused on where this ball is in relation to the catcher. So the ball gets through the legs of Grandal. DJ said, go, go, go. But DJ, by that time, is too late.
And also a break in that the ball hit the foot of Tony Randazzo. That's just a little bit low, 2-2. You hear the oohs and the ahs. Here's the bottom line. It's true in every sport. When you get to crunch time, when you get to the most important games of the year, your best players have to be the best players on the field.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what sport you're playing.
DJ fouls it off.
DJ,
I mean, it's nice when a young player contributes and it makes for wonderful copy. But here, late in the season, when every game is of enormous importance, the big money guys, they have to step forward. And they know that. No secret. Those are the guys that get paid that way because they embrace the big moment. Nolan's on the top step. He wants to erase the memory of last night. It was a tough night for him last night.
You know what? And to Nolan's credit, he owned it after the game, too. Just said, I had a bad game. I was pressing. I was trying to do too much. It happens. They're human beings. This game's not played by robots.
No. With Nolan, he is so anxious to do well. Sometimes he has to downshift a little bit. That's up and in. And now it's 3-2.
Well, they've been going away, and then this one rides up and in. DJ's backing off on the Subaru Supermo. That's tough, too. And you're thinking, I got to stay in there. And by the time you can react, it's sometimes in the catcher's glove.
And with the runner going, this is a tough pickup and a low throw, and it gets by the first baseman, Bellinger. That was not a hard pickup at first. So the Rockies have runners at first and third, nobody out. The tough pickup was the one that Turner made. The throw, albeit a little bit low, but I'm sure Bellinger will tell you that he should have picked this ball out of the dirt. It'll go as an error against Turner, of course.
But this is the one right here, Drew. You're right. He picked that one. He still had an extra step he could have taken, but Bellinger really just didn't get out and underneath it. See how his glove's not very far out in the dirt?
Not a hard play.
No, that's what I'm saying. You worked through the ball, and he really didn't do that. But in any event, it's first and third, nobody out. 7th error of the year on Justin Turner. He had one last night.
So now here's one of those young players, David Dahl. Dahl in his last 8 games hitting .345, a home run and 7 driven in. Good swing. Dahl is 1 for 6 against Buehler.
Well, I know talking to some of the Rockies guys today about David Dahl is that they love that his ability is to catch up to fastballs up in the zone. And that is what Walker Buehler throws.
This gets away momentarily. DJ couldn't advance. Well, we say this so frequently, we sound like a broken record, but you can't have empty at-bats here. You have to, at the very least, get a productive out here from Dahl. 1-1. And it's 1-2.
The Rockies just hitting 100 on this road trip with runners in scoring position. 3 for 30. To get back up to that number that's made him one of the top 5 in the National League with runners in scoring position. Actually top 4, tied for 4th.
Two and 2 on Dahl.
Buehler's fastball is explosive. You can see it with the downhill movement. But the Rockies have taken good swings against the fastball. They do not seem intimidated by velocity. And just thinking back to LeMahieu, Walker was throwing some pitches up in the zone that DJ was able to fight off.
And now another 3-2 count.
Well, back-to-back times the guys have worked the count to get it back to 3-2.
Nolan patiently waiting his turn. Blackman a lead single. He was going on the chopper to third, and then the throwing error, so it's first and third. Ball 4, and look at this. They're loaded up for Nolan Arenado out of the gate. Spilly, put yourself in the batter's box again. The anxiety, the desire to be the man, the desire to do well. And here you are at the bases loaded, and you have to be telling yourself, all right, slow down a little bit.
Well, the game will always find you. And when you're not in a good spot, it seems like every single moment is going to be yours. And as a competitor, you relish that. This is how you get out of these funks, is that you have to slow your mind, trust yourself, get that confidence. And the best part about these situations right now is that talk inside your mind. You're saying to yourself, yes, this is it. I want this moment.
This kind of guy, hard on hard, may be the best kind of guy to get going. It's a pitch that was center cut and it's fouled off at 98. You know what I mean? It removes some of the thinking, doesn't it, guys?
Definitely. That helps too. And I'm with Spilly, just trying to take yourself and slow the game down.
And you can just see, even on that take, a little jumpy. Last night, he fired at a couple of pitches that were well off the plate. What a golden opportunity for the Rockies to get a quick jump on the Dodgers. Bases loaded, nobody out. Good take there.
That's the big one right there. Lay off that fastball to get ahead 2-1. I mean, it had some run on it too. Look at the run on the Subaru Supermo. But that ball definitely up.
Two and one on Nolan. '98, swung through it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, at least here in the first 21 pitches, the only command he's had is of the fastball.
Yeah, he has not thrown a breaking ball. He's only thrown a few, but they've been in the dirt. 2-2. That's a tough pitch to cover right there. 99, which was about shoulder high, and he fouled it straight back.
Extremely difficult ball to try to get on top of it. Nolan came up, kind of raised the body up. Just get enough of it.
You put the barrel on the ball at 99, it's going to go far. 1 out. And that'll bring up Gerardo Parra.
Fielder number 8, Gerardo Parra.
Well, finally kind of got a slider to look like a fastball coming out of the hands, and then chased it off the plate on the Subaru Supermo at 86 miles an hour. That's the first one that he's located.
Parra started last night in right field. He went 1 for 4. In the 9th inning, he led off with a single, would steal second. Unfortunately, the Rockies couldn't do anything behind him. 7 for his last 18. And that was a very hittable pitch.
Yeah, right, a little above the mid-thigh, away from him on the Subaru strike zone. Just something that you could drive the opposite way. Kike Hernandez is playing extremely shifted towards left center field.
1-1. This becomes just an enormous at bat. With 1 out, and Nolan in the dugout now. Bases full of Rockies. 1-2.
This game is such a game of momentum, and we constantly talk about that. Just picture as an analogy, it's this inning in this situation specifically, bases loaded, 1 out. It's a tug of war. The pressure is on both sides. You guys are right. There's a lot of pressure on the Dodgers to try to get out of here without giving up a run. There's pressure on the Rockies to score that first run, because we know how important the first run in a game is.
Yeah, and when you have the bases loaded, nobody out, you hope to get at least 2. And right now you'll begin with 1. You talk about an early momentum shift. If the Dodgers were to get off the field unscathed, there would be a huge momentum shift, and they haven't taken it at bat yet.
When the Rockies score first, they're 48-15 on the year.
Crowd involved, 1-2 on Parra. We talk about this veteran group. Last night we showed a graphic, 555 games of experience, postseason experience, and Buehler was around late last year. But still, he's a kid. He's 23. So even though the Dodgers have played well the last 2 days, there's heat on this young man to go out and perform. 2-2. Slowly hit, and they're going to come home with it and get a force out. Buehler did the smart thing. So now there are 2 outs. We'll bring up Ian Desmond. Here's the Red Robin defensive alignment tonight for LA. Taylor, Hernandez, and Kemp in the outfield. Cody Bellinger, you already saw, he's at first base tonight. He wasn't able to pick up that low throw by Turner. Rondal doing the catching. So Ian Desmond, 1 for 9 in his matchups with Buehler, trying to produce a big 2-out hit here. Back up the middle, he does. That should bring 2 home. The throw on its way to the plate is offline. What a move there by Ian Desmond coming through on the first offering. How big was that?
Enormous. I mean, if there's one thing that this ball club needed, they needed a base hit with runners in scoring position. And then after the way this inning started, bases loaded, and then Nolan strikes out. Then you get the fielder's choice. First pitch right back up where it came from. This ball was crushed right past Walker Buehler. I was thinking for a second, just kind of the way the luck's been, it had gone off his foot or his ankle or something right over to first base, and you don't get anything out of it. But instead, you got 2 runs and 81 RBIs on the season for Ian.
McMahon swings and misses. You know, Desmond, from a batting average standpoint, you've heard us say this before, it has not been a good year, and he'd be the first to tell you that. He's tried to push his way through it, but you cannot deny he has had a number of huge hits, and I don't know if there's one bigger than the one he just produced.
I'm not sure. I mean, he's 3rd on the team in RBIs now.
We don't know how the rest of the night will play out, but I know this: that dugout, Spilly, you're basically
right here
in the dugout. Had the Rockies not scored after loading the bases with their big guns coming up and nobody out, you go on and play the game, but that's devastating.
It's deflating. The roof popped up as soon as Ian hit that base hit. And these guys were fired up. And the other aspect too for Ian Desmond, I was talking with Jeff Salazar about Desi's swing today, and he said that he noticed that he was overstriding. Part of that happens when you're trying to be too aggressive. And that last at bat, he didn't overstride. He let the ball come to him, and he took a nice, powerful swing.
2-1 on McMahon. And he may have chased a little bit there. 2-2.
That's why I love this game, and I know Huey, having experienced it, it's small mechanical adjustments day by day, and then to get the result in a game as big as it is for this team tonight.
Well, even something just as small as taking a smaller stride.
And now it's full.
Right.
And Buehler's throwing a boatload of pitches.
Yeah, that's 34 pitches now for Buehler. They already have somebody warming up in their bullpen.
Walker Buehler has already been tabbed as the next ace of the Dodgers. Struggling here in the first.
Zach Roscoe.
You can just tell by the body language of Buehler how big of a hit that was from Ian. Sunken shoulders.
Three and 2 on McMahon. 0 for 6 against Buehler. Parr and Desmond will be moving. The Rockies get 2 in the first. Ian Desmond coming through with an enormous base hit up the middle. 2-0 Colorado. Tyler Anderson will be on the Dodgers Stadium mound when we come back. Again, they had scored only 7 runs in their first 5 games on this road trip, so it's great to see them strike first against LA. Tyler Anderson will be making his 31st start this year. And he's coming off a very sound performance in San Francisco in which he allowed 2 runs over 6 innings. Looking to build on that here in a place where his recent memories are great ones.
Yeah, that start back in late June where it was 8 innings, no runs. And for me, what it comes down to is his fastball and changeup command, because if he has those 2 things, the cut fastball will be able to work off the regular fastball. If he's on the corners, it's going to be a great night. He also mixed in a few more really just slow curveballs, get me over in that start against San Francisco.
That's at the bottom of the zone. Good pitch. It was a changeup. It just shows you the game plan with not only Anderson, but probably the entire rotation of the Rockies. It's an acknowledgement of how aggressive this Dodger unit is, swinging at first pitches.
Well, I think it tells you the adjustments a veteran team will make. You know, after the game last night, Kyle Freeland was talking about how the Dodgers hitters, they backed off the plate a little bit. So they weren't getting chewed up by that cut fastball. Their slider in on their hands.
Here's the good news. First 3 pitches, it's a 2-1 count, but they're all down. And Steve Foster was saying that that is going to be a huge key. The misses have to be down or away. When he was struggling, they were in the middle of the plate. That's a great pitch.
And think back to that start in San Francisco, that 1 inning where he made some misses, everything was up. He gave up a couple runs in the 1 inning.
2-2 on Taylor, the hero from last night, the 10th inning home run against Otto. And this is line to right, and it is caught out there by Dahl. The Rockies outfielders, Dahl and Parra in particular, have made a couple of sensational plays in this series.
Well, that's another sinking line drive that David has to make a decision on what he's going to do. Subaru Supermo, we talked about having no fear at the plate. Well, sometimes you got to have no fear out in the outfield too, because if that scoots by, that's a double, possible triple.
Billy, not an easy play as Justin Turner steps up.
Well, I just love that play for so many reasons. It's a good swing by Chris Taylor. They're trying to bounce back after giving up 2 runs in that first inning, and he's thinking single. And there's a little bit of an edge tonight from the Rockies. You can tell. They know what's at stake.
0-1 on Turner, great pitch. And here's something that's good to see. Tony Randazzo is calling the corners. Last night, it could very well have been a 2-0 count. Turner able to hold up 1-2.
Here, you could talk about this. The teams, when you're playing at your best, it's when the team is the most aggressive.
Exactly. You have to play this game aggressive. And I like what you said, you know, because you can feel it down in the dugout.
Tell you what, real quick, that's why Turner's hitting .391 since August 2nd. That's a changeup that's a strike for 59 feet, and he just said no.
He's so good. I mean, just like the pitch 4 on the Subaru strike zone. But what I was going to say to Spilly is, you know, when you're down in that dugout, you can feel energy when something happens. I mean, guys know the importance of tonight's game. It doesn't, like, coaches don't have to run around saying, hey, big game tonight, big game.
You would hope not, right?
Players understand if they win this game, there's just a half game back. If they lose, they're 2.5 back.
There's a lot of unspoken communication in a clubhouse through the course of the season, and certainly right now.
You definitely don't need the Newt Rockney speech.
No.
Okay?
Anybody that needs that, probably not a guy you want to go to battle with. in the air to center field. Charlie's got an easy play. And the tough Justin Turner's retired. Let's take a look at the Southwest batting order tonight for Dave Roberts. Turner and Machado always hit back-to-back, and Bellinger is in there against the lefty at first base, as you know. Matt Kemp gets another starting assignment. Kike Hernandez, he's in center field tonight. Yasmani Grandal, Brian Dozier, and then Walker Buehler. And of course, there's a bunch of left-handed bats that are at the ready when and if Tyler Anderson departs the game. Machado, those are his overall numbers this year between Baltimore and LA. They're good numbers in LA, but not as prolific as what he was producing at Camden Yards. He's hitting .269 in a Dodger uniform, 11 home runs, 31 driven in. There's the before and after. Changeup for a strike and a fastball on the inside corner, but a little bit off the plate, so it's 1-1.
A little different ballpark for Manny Machado. Oriole Park at Camden Yards compared to this one.
Well, that's a good pitch.
Chris was sticking that, trying to hold it. Chris has started 23 of Tyler's 31 starts on the season.
Field and deep, and Parra makes the catch. Two wonderful plays, one by Dahlin Wright and that one by the two-time Gold Glover Gerardo Parra. And it makes for a nice 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Anderson. Rockies up 2-0. Colorado Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by the 2018 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores and by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Well, you try to win innings, and the Rockies win the first inning 2-0. We move on to inning number 2. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Ryan Spilborghs, Taylor McGregor. Rockies fell 8-2 on Monday, 3-2 in 10 innings yesterday on the Chris Taylor bottom of the 10th walk-off. 8-9-1 here against Walker Buehler, who threw 36 pitches in the first inning. Chris Iannetta steps up.
They threw so many pitches in the first that they had Zach Rosscup warming up. They didn't want to extend this young man's arm.
Another breaking ball, and it's fouled off. guy's a little bigger than Roy Oswalt. But the reason I mentioned his name, he's kind of a slight type of build. He's not one of these 6'4" guys, yet he has a dynamic arm.
Billy, you have another comparison too of Walker Buehler.
Well, we heard a couple today from Bud Black. He mentioned Tim Lincecum. He also said Brett Saberhagen. And if you look at Walker Buehler, and if you can picture in your mind Justin Verlander, that's who he basically took his mechanics and tried to mimic. And you could see it. But all those guys rolled into one. This is easily the most dynamic arm the Dodgers have had since Clayton Kershaw.
It's a guy that didn't spend much time, nor should he have, in the minor leagues. Just 35 career minor league games, 24 starts.
But remember, right after they drafted him, he had Tommy John surgery. 1-2. And that's strike 3. So you look at the grand history of the Dodgers and all of the pitching they've produced. Lowest rookie ERA since 1958 when they came west. Fernando Valenzuela, he's in the ballpark naturally tonight. Hideo Nomo, Bill Singer, Oral Hershiser, also one of the broadcasters for the Dodgers, and then Walker Buehler. How about that list? Anderson takes a strike. We're watching Bill Singer a little bit.
Fernando Mania. He's the reason why I play baseball. My mom signed me up because of Fernando Mania.
And a called strike on Anderson. So 2 strikeouts, and that'll bring up Blackman. It's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, Charlie Blackman has really picked it up in September, which you figured he would, because in his career he's been an outstanding player in September. He's been pretty good in the other months also. But right now he's leading the National League with a .385 average. He got the rally started in the first inning with a sharp single on an 0-2 pitch. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. He turned around, drove it right back up the middle. That ball he hit last night against Clayton Kershaw. It's one of the farthest home runs Kershaw's ever given up.
The second longest given up this year at Dodger Stadium. George Springer had the longest one.
One and one. That home run for Charlie last night, his 27th on the year. 15 of those have come out on the road.
Second or third curveball we've seen tonight from Buehler.
Buehler in his last outing, 8 shutout innings in St. Louis. Allowed just 2 hits, struck out 9, walked a pair. 2-2. Dodgers would win that game 3-0. Dodgers have won 7 out of 8. And Buehler strikes out the side in the second. Middle of 2, Rockies up 2-0. Bases loaded single with 2 outs by Ian Desmond in the first. Tyler Anderson had a 1-2-3 first inning, and we take a look at that Red Robin defense. Ian Desmond's playing shortstop tonight. Ryan McMahon is at first. And Desi now shifts over to the right side for Bellinger.
Chatted with Desi a little bit around the batting cage today, talking about, hey, it's kind of like old home week for you, going back to play shortstop. He said, yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, he was excited. Buddy told him last night. 2-0.
Yeah, it's not like for Ian, he just showed up today and looked at the lineup card and said, oh, I'm playing short. Well, they actually talked about it a couple days ago after Trevor got hurt.
Well, Ian takes ground balls at shortstop every single day. Every day of this season during batting practice, I've seen it.
Sharply hit at DJ LeMahieu. Well, there's another guy that takes a lot of ground balls at short that I can guarantee will not get any time there this
Tony
year.
Walters.
Tony does too.
Yeah, but Tony does, but you know, I think Tony was he at shortstop?
Tony's always at shortstop. Yeah. Tony and Ian.
No, I'm talking about in a game.
No, I don't think so.
I thought he may have.
You know what? Maybe in that 19-2 Arizona game.
Did he play short?
Well, he can play there legitimately, but you know, Gerardo likes to mess around there. And then, of course, you don't see too many lefty shortstops. This ball's hit a long way to left, and it's now a 1-run game. Kemp with his 20th of the year.
It's the 4th he's hit against the Rockies this year. That's also the 30th home run that Tyler Anderson has given up. That ties him with Chase Anderson. I think he was just looking for something, because he opened those hips pretty quick and didn't miss it. Didn't even bat an eye. He just stood there.
So with 1 out, Kike Hernandez comes up. And that's in there, first strike, 0-1. .46 career home runs now by Kemp against the Rockies. Only Barry Bonds hit more. Popped up. DJ's waiting underneath. That'll bring up Grandal. Fans join in on the conversation. Use Twitter with the hashtag Toyota Talk. Dodgers hit home runs. They're well ahead of anybody else in the National League in home runs. Last year, they hit 221. They're closing in on that figure. The 221, the reason I mentioned that, it's their all-time high. The only team that's hit more home runs in baseball this year, the Yankees, and they have the benefit of a DH.
Dodgers now 217. Nobody else is in the 200s.
Grandal takes that pitch for a strike. It's 1-1. They had 7 players now with Kemp hitting his 20th. They have 7 players with 20 or more home runs. That's what they do. They're 9th in the National League in hits produced, yet they're 1st in runs. They slug. What the Rockies were accused of, especially back in the mid-90s, late 90s.
do think the Dodgers, but they have a pretty good idea of the strike zone.
And they lead the league in walks as well. (3-1) on Grandal. That's in there. You know, that's the major league record, by the way. 7 players on a team with 20 or more home runs. It's happened before. It's happened 7 times. The last was actually a year ago, the Baltimore Orioles, your former club. (3-2) on Grandal. And that's ball 4. Bring up Brian Dozier.
Second baseman, number 6, Brian Dozier.
Dozier mired in a horrific slump. 3 for his last 43 at the plate. He's hitting just 185 with the Dodgers. He had a good first week, but it's been downhill since then. In the air, deep center field. At the wall, Charlie Blackmon makes the catch. I think Dozier thought he just put LA in front. A 400-foot out. Kempa homer, 2-1.
The third, Trevor Story, still not in the lineup as he is still nursing elbow inflammation. We did talk to him today about how he is feeling.
Feeling good. You know, it's done a lot of treatment so far, and but yeah, we'll do pretty much just treating it all day and play it by feel. I think we're gonna you know, take it through the off day tomorrow and you know, treat it all day today, treat it all day tomorrow, and you know, just be smart with it, kind of take advantage of that off day. And but yeah, you know, it felt a lot better yesterday and feels a lot better today too.
He says there is no timeline. It is truly day to day. Bud Black asked if we could see him in the Arizona series, and he says that is certainly a possibility. So good news is that he is, again, genuinely day to day, and we could be seeing him back as soon as Friday, guys.
Yeah, I think that off day falls in a perfect spot for Trevor and the Rockies. This is kicked around, and it's going to cost Buehler. That'll be the second error already on the Dodgers. That would have been an easy out. DJ instead will reach leading off the third.
Must be something about DJ and hitting the ball the first time. It was the air by Justin Turner, and then this is an easy play that goes off the heel of the glove for Walker Buehler, and then he kicks it about 25 feet. That'll be his first error of the year. Billy was talking about it last night. We say it all the time in a game, playing clean baseball. When the other team doesn't, you have to take advantage.
Rockies certainly have already.
Dahl earned a walk his first time up, and this ball is lined, but right at the right fielder Kemp, but he has to field it on a hop. And you see, I'm not trying to pick on Matt Kemp there, but David Dahl on a similar ball, maybe he was a little closer, was able to make a catch. I thought Kemp came on and then said, "Whoop, I don't want this thing going by me." So fortunately, it dropped, and now you have two on and nobody out. This thing was ripped.
Well, he gets on top of it. What's the angle on it on the Subaru Supermo? So it had some top spin on it, but it helps for Matt Kemp. But he's about 6'3", 6'4", about 235 pounds, because he had the goalie up on this one, just kind of block it. He's very lucky. Just watching it there on the Subaru Supermo, that did go underneath his arm.
Came off the bat at 103 miles an hour. You're right. He had the goalie up, and there's a lot of surface because Matt's a big man. Slider outside. Nolan came up, bases loaded, nobody out in the first inning, and struck out on a slider on a 2-2 pitch. Was 3 for 22 on the trip. Trying to change all that. He's got another opportunity here. Good swing.
From the sides, Billy, that one looked like he was on time.
It was closer, but I'm so used to seeing Nolan keeping his head down at contact, and his head is leaking just slightly, which I think is causing him to lose his barrel. But yes, the timing's getting closer.
Look
oh
out.
gosh.
The one thing that I'm curious about, Spilly, is that we've seen so many of that type of swing, and it wasn't a 2-strike pitch that's, you know, a borderline pitch. That was a center cut 2-1 fastball. What do you got on that?
He's guessing. Anytime you come off the fastball and you get a 2-1 fastball and you take a swing like that, you're guessing off speed.
Another slider, and there's one out.
Well, For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch. And for the Rockies, they started fast. Now you got to finish what you started, because the Rockies are 48-15 when scoring first. It's a good sign. And Ian Desmond with the big shot in the first inning, but now even with first and second, just one out here in the third. Get one of those markers back that you just gave up in the bottom of the second.
Again, the pitch in that sequence Nolan wants back was the 2-0 pitch. That was up over the middle of the plate. Fouled it straight back. Here's Parra. Right now, on the short list of Rockies that are putting together consistently good at-bats, forget results, but talking process, Gerardo Parra is right near the top of the list. I don't mean that to be faint praise. He's when given an opportunity, he has really produced. 1-1.
Whether it's a limited role starting now, but coming off the bench.
It's the first time I can remember in a little bit that he has started in back-to-back ball games.
Well, last night he had the base hit to left field off of Kenley Jansen. Then he stole second base. He's at second with nobody out in the ninth inning.
Rockies had their chances last night. 1-2. Foul ball. Buehler has 7 strikeouts. Well, hopefully Ian Desmond can do it again with 2 outs.
Number 20, Ian Desmond.
In Denver, when the Rockies got 4 runs off Buehler in 6 innings, they had 6 hits. Buehler struck out 7 in that game, but again, it was over 6 innings. He's got 7 now after 2 2/3.
4 of the 7 strikeouts have come via the fastball, 2 on sliders, 1 on a curveball.
See if that first pitch fastball shows up again after.
I'm not sure it will.
Yeah, after Desmond fired at it and ripped it up the middle to plate 2 runs. Nope, it was a slider. Achieving More is brought to you by AT&T. Active players with the most 2020 seasons. Desi's got 5 of them now that he picked off his 20th stolen base. Mike Trout, not a surprise. Cargo with 4. One and one. And the Rockies have a pair of 2020 guys this year because Trevor Story, he's a 30-25 guy. Dante and Ellis Burks both at 96. The only other time the Rockies had a pair of guys 2020. This is a comeback at Buehler. Well, the Rockies had an opportunity. They had 2 on, nobody out. Unable to produce another run. They're up 2-1. Baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by Dish Network, better TV for all. Images from the Santa Monica Pier. Easier to get there as it gets later in the evening across the 10. Bottom of the third inning, it'll be Buehler, and then the top of the order against Tyler Anderson. He's allowed 1 run, a Matt Kemp home run to left. Buehler takes a strike. Anderson's had some good defensive plays behind him. Dahl in right and Parra in left. Because if you break it down, Tyler is hitting the edges. But 6 of the first 8 guys tonight for LA barreled the baseball. Even Bellinger, that sharp ground ball at DJ.
Dozier taking it to 399 feet out in center field. But yet it's still 2-1 Rockies.
Yep. Let your defense play. Defense right there by the pitcher.
There you go.
Anderson. He brought his glove.
Unlike Buehler, who had to go off his glove and then kicked it. This is a little bit out of self-defense for Tyler. .102 miles an hour off the bat. That's knuckling too. I got it.
Yeah.
1 out.
I don't know if he even had to yell, I got it.
I'm not sure he had time to get it out.
I think he got it before he yelled. He got it. Chris Taylor, line drive to right. Dahl made a great catch. Strike 1. Taylor told me before the ball game that last night that the ball he hit out was his biggest moment in the regular season. He hit a World Series home run now, leading off. He just feels, he said, a lot better at the plate. This is a guy that struck out a bunch. There's a pitch on the inside corner called a ball, 1-1. He said he feels more comfortable now than at any point this year. One from Tyler Anderson. And that's fouled off.
Well, I think part of it is that, and we saw it in that first AB when he lined out to right field, trying to not be so pull happy like you see on this StatCast AI powered by AWS spray chart with all those balls to third and short from Chris Taylor. Still leads the National League in strikeouts with 166. May get 167.
Yep, Anderson with his first strikeout of the night. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Turner.
Justin Turner.
They got the foul ball for strike 2, and then I think there's supposed to be a cutter. Not really the hard biting slider from Tyler. Doesn't matter, second out of the inning.
Turner popped to center field his first time. He's got a 7-game hitting streak in which he's hitting .480.
What?
Yeah, well, listen, since he came back on August 2nd, he has, by more than 40 points, the best average in baseball. Time for At the Dish, brought to you by Dish Network. Here's some more numbers on Turner. Highest batting average against the Rockies among active players. Turner at .363. Matt Holliday, glad he's back with the Rockies. Desi's on that list also. Parr is there, and it's another good inning for Tyler Anderson, his second 1-2-3 inning. So we're off to the 4th inning. The Rockies up 2-1. McMahon will be the leadoff hitter when we return. Refreshing finish. Ryan McMahon against the Dodgers on August the 11th. The walk-off 3-run bomb. Seen a few of those in the second half from the Rockies. Celebrations around home plate. McMahon, Iannetta, Anderson here in the fourth against Walker Buehler. Buehler threw 36 pitches in the first inning. It's 29 to get through the next 2 innings.
They attacked Ryan up his first AB. Ryan playing in front of his mom and dad. They've been here all 3 days.
Short, well, not necessarily a short drive, but they're in Orange County. Good swing.
Inner third on the Subaru strike zone. Made a good pass at it.
These are the inner dialogues you have after you have a pitch like that. You say, I can't swing so big. Shorten it down.
1-1. And a bouncing ball to Dozier. 1 out. That'll bring up Iannetta. He struck out looking his first time.
Number 22, Chris.
Well, what the Rockies need tonight is something they've had in large supply throughout the year: resilience. Got off to the quick start, 2 runs in the first.
Well, they bounced back after losing the first 2 games in San Francisco.
They haven't been swept on the road all year. This is to Turner. That'll bring up Anderson.
Pitcher, Tyler Anderson.
Walker Buehler, in his 20 starts, this being his 21st, has a whip of .095.
The batting average against of just .201.
Couple of good pitchers in this National League West that are youngsters. Derek Rodriguez, we saw him the other day. And Walker Buehler. Jack Flaherty, man, he's got a great arm. He's a California kid pitching for the Cardinals. And down the road, Joey Lucchesi, the lefty for the Padres.
A few of those guys are going to be on the Rookie of the Year list.
1-2-3 inning for Buehler in the fourth. Middle of 4, the Rockies leading 2-1. CenturyLink high-speed challenge. Go to AT&T Sportsnet RM to cast your vote. Chase Utley's retiring at the end of the season. Should he be elected eventually to the Hall of Fame? What do you guys think?
No. I mean, I think he's close, but I don't think it's a Hall of Fame career.
275, 259 home runs, over 1,000 ribbies as a second baseman. He was a great situational stolen base guy. Did well in the postseason. I think he's a borderline guy.
He's a borderline guy. He has a legitimate case, though. Legitimate case, given his era, what he meant to an organization, how he went about his business, but he's still missing like significant numbers. 3,000 hits, he's not close. Only 1,885 career hits. I think he's on the fringe. But he has a case. There's other Hall of Famers. There's other Hall of Famers that don't have those
numbers.
numbers.
One out there. The former Cub, Ryan Sandberg. Machado stepping up. There's a comparison. Rhino 10 points higher in the batting average. The double's very close. The home runs pretty close. Ribbies, and to me, Sandberg was a borderline guy. And
exactly.
He ended up getting in.
I think some of that had to do with
WGN.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Machado. It's huge. It makes a big difference. It's one of the things that hurts. It's hurt Larry Walker, and it's going to hurt Todd Helton.
And that's to take nothing away from Chase Utley, folks. I'm just saying that's my opinion. I think what he's done for the game, how he's played it. I mean, the Roy Campanella Award winner for the Dodgers this year.
I don't think any of us need to apologize to say that a guy's a borderline Hall of Famer.
I know, but you know how some people are going to say, oh, yeah, well, you say, no, he's not good enough. That's not it at all. Baseball Hall of Fame's hard to get into.
And it ought to be, and I think it's why any Hall of Fame is wonderful, but there's a true mystique to the Baseball Hall of Fame that I don't know if it exists quite to that level with the other ones. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Machado's first time up, he lined the ball to deep left, and Parra made a wonderful running catch-up. Listen, the other guy in the dugout that pitched last night, he's a slam the gavel down. First ballot, should be unanimous Hall of Famer if he never throws another pitch.
I would agree with that one as well.
2-2, and ground ball to short. Desi with his first opportunity, and he fields it nicely and throws out Machado. Here's one of the nice moments this year for Chase Utley when he returned to Philadelphia. They boo everybody. They didn't boo Chase.
Nor should they have. That run they had in Philadelphia was remarkable with Chase and Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard. Philly and the boys took him down.
Took him down once. They got us another time. But you know that the Philadelphia Phillies are going to retire his number. And that's been an argument that I've had for Larry Walker, too, is I'd like to see Larry's number up in the rafters, especially if Colorado and we are standing by him asking, Hall of Fame, put Larry into the Hall of Fame. Well, should that number be up in Coors Field's rafters, too?
Again, there are things that you can start doing when you've been around as we celebrate the silver anniversary season for 25, 26 seasons. You do have some iconic players, and I'd agree that Larry is an iconic Rocky. Here's the 1-1. Straight back again by Bellinger.
Plus, nobody's using 33 right now, so.
Well, and even Justin Morneau had to get permission. He called Larry, say, is it okay?
It's a Canadian thing.
Yeah, they had that bond.
Yeah, I don't think Tiny's going to be handing out 33 to anybody anytime soon. 1-2 on Bellinger.
I just think anything that can help. You guys said Ryan Sandberg, WGN. When you see a guy's number up in the rafters, just like we do when we come to Dodger Stadium, I think it makes a case. There's an optics behind it.
Easy play for Nolan, 2 outs.
He got in the kitchen there.
Yeah, he did. Knock some appliances off the counter.
Number 27.
Now Kemp, he's the reason the Dodgers are on the scoreboard. He crushed a ball to deep left center his first time up. See the scores going by. You may have noted that Atlanta beat St. Louis this afternoon. So on the wild card, the Rockies trailed the Cardinals by a game, pending the outcome here tonight at Chavez Ravine. Challenged him right away at 93 for a strike.
They tried to challenge him the first time up, and Matt Kemp turned it around. Not only was that a lot of home runs that Kemp's hit in his career against the Rockies, it was also career RBI number 999. Not all against the Rockies, just saying career.
Well, he's had a fabulous career. Obviously his best years here in a Dodger uniform. Buddy Black managed him down in San Diego. That's a strike, 1 and 2.
That was at the bottom of the super strike zone.
You guys forget that a little bit, right? Because Buddy had, remember when A.J. Preller went and got all the veteran guys? He had the Upton brothers, he got James Shields, he got Matt Kemp.
Oh, they put all their chips in the middle of the table and said, we're all in.
Yeah, didn't they?
Yeah.
1-2 on Kemp. And it's popped up. But when he can get ahead, that's when he can utilize that changeup and keep the hitters off balance. That is 7 in a row retired by Anderson. Rockies up 2-1. Top of the order coming up against Buehler.
Your routine. If you want to be one of the best players in the National League, we got some advice for you. You grow a beard. Charlie Blackmon, Justin Turner, starting off in 2011 with no beard. They progressed 2014, and then take a look this year. Both of them have full beards, and their numbers since 2014, incredible. Charlie, 304 average. Justin Turner, 306. Those numbers since the beard, guys. So I don't know. It might have something with the beard. All I got to say is I'm not about to be the bearded lady, but maybe you guys could try it and have some luck.
Too late for me now.
Yeah.
I should have tried it.
Huey missed his opportunity.
Right?
This is fouled off. And
That's, I guess that was my problem.
Well, I grew the beard out earlier this year and it had no luck. And I'm pretty sure it didn't make me broadcast any better.
Well, I know it did. It couldn't have been any worse if I would have grown a beard to try to hit.
I don't know what you were thinking
I don't
about.
know either.
Yeah.
I should have.
Charlie strikes out. One out. Buehler has fanned his ninth Colorado Rocky tonight.
Well, Walker Buehler in the first inning had 36 pitches, but then coming into this inning, the next 3 innings, he had 36 total pitches. So he's kind of found his rhythm.
DJ is 0 for 2, but he has reached twice, scored a run. Ball he hit in the first inning to Justin Turner. Justin fired a little bit low to Bellinger for an error, and then he had a little comebacker that wasn't handled by Buehler in the third inning. DJ hitting right at .302 this year against Los Angeles. Five starts in 1 year against the Rockies for Walker Buehler. Trying to tie up LeMahieu pretty clearly.
That's about the 4th pitch that is DJ's had to duck out of the way. It's come up and in on him. It's not intentional, as you were saying, Drew. They're just trying to make sure that, you know, DJ can't take that ball to right field. So we just saw those signs a moment ago where it said 3-1. That's a signal for a cut fastball. That's why you saw the velocity at 90 miles an hour. And this is a straight 4-seam fastball.
2-2. And that's strike 3 at the knees. At 98. 10 strikeouts for Buehler.
81st time the Dodgers this year have had 10 strikeouts or more as a starting staff, or as a pitching staff, I should say.
First time Buehler has struck out 10. 3 of the last 5 he had struck out 9. Dahl a walk and he roped a single to right.
I'm trying to put myself back in the batter's box. What kind of approach you would have against somebody like Walker Buehler? There's late movement with this fastball. We've seen some early pitch outs. There's a little 2-seam movement. And then when you think about the curveball, you have to respect it. So you can't just look fastball.
Buehler makes quick work of the Rockies' top of the order. 2 strikeouts and the excuse me comebacker. But Colorado has a 2-1 lead, middle of 5. On AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Kike Hernandez, Yasmani Grandal, Brian Dozier, 6 through 8 in the Dodgers lineup. Tyler Anderson has settled in very nicely. He has retired 7 straight. We got Hernandez to pop to second, his first time up. 54 pitches to navigate the first 12 outs. A little bit low. The Rockies this year have held the opposition out on the road to a .237 batting average. That is the best in club history. And the .310 on base percentage allowed is the lowest in club history. That's out on the road. 3-0. Two in the first for the Rockies. A run in the second for LA on the home run by Matt Kemp. Rockies got their 2 runs on a bases loaded single by Desmond. Rockies had the first 2 men on in the 3rd also and couldn't do anything with it. Base hit to left. There's the second hit tonight for LA. That'll bring up Grandal.
You can enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. You access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Okay, another note. The Rockies have allowed less than 12 base runners per 9 innings on the road, which has never happened before in club history.
Yeah, the other 2 teams are LA and Washington
that have done that this year.
Yeah.
That's low on Grandal. He walked his first time.
First 2 batters of this inning for Tyler. He's fallen behind.
Well, with the day off tomorrow and just how important tonight's game, I'd expect to see some sort of movement from the Rockies bullpen.
Right now,
just in a position tonight. I mean, this really is, if you look at numbers, if you're trying to win a division, this is essentially a do or die game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, by and large, he's throwing the baseball very well. 1-2.
Way in which you hope here too with Grandal, since he's hitting just a little over 200 right-handed. You're working towards the bottom portion. I know Dozier took you deep to, to the wall in center field.
No, it's all hands on deck. To Spilly's point, that is what time of year it is. Right now, Tyler Anderson, at least so far, has pitched like we saw him in June and July.
He's looking for his first win since July 4th. It's been a while for Tyler.
When Tyler was saying that he had to be more aggressive with fastball up in the zone, that's where he lives. And it was a mechanical adjustment with his head. He was trying to keep his head more in line and not pull off so much.
Two and two.
Well, It's the old theory, you know, wherever your head takes you on a baseball field, your body's going to follow. So if your head's falling off to the side, your body's going to go that way, and you'll leave your arm behind as a pitcher.
One pitching coach will teach you bury the head to make sure you get the ball down, right?
Yeah.
2-2. Strike 3 on Grandal. Right at the bottom of the zone. And that is the second strikeout. That'll bring up Dozier.
Both strikeouts, too, for Tyler have been on the cutter at 88 miles an hour. Clear view on the Subaru Supermo. I'm not quite sure what Grandal was, you know, arguing about. It crossed the knees.
Dozier hit a ball to the wall his first time up. I think he thought it out, and thought it was out, and I know about 48,000 thought it was out. Strike on the inside corner.
That's a perfect strike, too. When you get a hitter to raise his arms up, and then you can, that hip side pitch.
Hitters try to jackknife a little bit to influence the umpire. Guy who did it more than anybody I've ever seen still was Ian Stewart. Remember that, Spilly?
He did it too often where it didn't work in his favor.
Yeah. Went back in there again. That's low and in. 1-1 on the former Twin star, Dozier. Twins had a surprisingly outstanding year last year. This year, tougher.
Well, he almost got traded here last year. There's conversations happening.
Dozier's been public about his struggles this year. He suffered a bit of a knee issue where he hurt his back right knee, and he said he started to have some mechanical adjustments trying to fix his swing because of it, and ended up with some really bad habits. And that happens.
He's another guy. He's not a big guy, but he's got a lot of pop. 1-1. And this ball's lined to left center field. Parra's not going to be able to get it. Hernandez going to get a green light, and the throw to the plate is. Ooh, did he get him on the foot before he touched the plate? The ball's safe. And if it stands, it ties up the game. Desmond made a good throw.
Hits this one. Arardo goes and gets it nicely. Barehands it, throws it to Desi. Desi relays it on the money to Chris. It just tailed a little bit, though, on him. Because Chris had to go up the line just too much. If he's able to wait back and catch that, he can probably drop the knee. But no, clearly safe on the Subaru Supermo.
So Dozier has tied it up with an RBI double.
This is 17th RBI in a Dodger uniform for Dozier.
Buehler hit a line drive right back at Anderson his first time.
Everybody.
Another look at the slide. Hernandez goes out and around and then swipes it with his left hand.
Foul down that first base line. If you're Anderson here, that 2-strike count on Buehler, you really have to be careful with Dozier at second base.
Well, that's why Ian is playing pretty much in his hip pocket. He'll be right behind him. He'll whistle in his ear, yell back, because that's the open side for the base runner with his helmet. So you can mess with him.
Now he's not going to go anywhere. you would think. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Taylor.
Left fielder, Chris Taylor.
Taylor, a line drive to right. Dahl made a sliding catch on, and he struck out in the 3rd.
Just one more number on Dozier. It's how bad it's been for him. That was just his 2nd RBI this month.
I'll tell you one of the things that is assisting the Dodgers right now, not that they wouldn't be focused given what time of year it is and in a battle to win their 6th straight division, a great battle with the Rockies. And misses. But there's a lot of inner battles going on, fellas, because they have so many guys. It's not a guarantee, even if you have a big name, a star name, that you're going to be on the 25-man roster in the postseason if the Dodgers make the postseason.
That's a great point, Drew, because you got a lot of guys thinking that they should be out there every day.
Yeah, the guy at second base, Brian Dozier, he's no lock.
No.
If you're Turner, you can go to bed easy at night. If you're Machado, you know you're going to be on the postseason roster. Bellinger, Muncy, yes. But there's some significant names that maybe feel, ooh, I don't know. Dozier might be near the top of that list. Versatility Taylor brings, you'd think he'd be safe.
They have to pair 13 guys off their roster currently because they have 38 guys.
We talked about it yesterday. Literally everybody not named Turner or Machado, they come to the clubhouse every day and check the lineup card. 2-1 on Taylor, runner going, and that's low. But Dozier swipes 3rd, standing out.
Well, we've seen this with Tyler a few times this year where runner at second, he's got that double extra hitch in his delivery, and so guys get a running start at it. That's Dozier's 4th stolen base, number 70 for the Dodgers.
Well, it's 3-1, but this is the guy you want to get. Taylor's dangerous. There's danger up and down the lineup, but Justin Turner's on deck.
He's the last dude you want to see coming to the plate.
Not with traffic. Lays down a bunt, which shocked everybody.
Yeah, that was shocking. If it was fair, it was a brilliant play. Nolan was deep. Nolan probably would have come home to try to get Dozier. That would have been his only play.
Let's go, Dodgers!
That's a 3-1 count. Wow. Caught us all off guard, Huey.
Yeah, it did.
3-2. Got him. Big strikeout by Anderson. Dodgers get the tying run on the double by Dozier. But with the go-ahead run at 3rd, a 3-1 count on Chris Taylor. Anderson comes all the way back. We'll go to the 6th. We're tied at 2.
Walker Buehler with 10 strikeouts tonight. I'm going to point out something. Check this out on the StatCast. This is his highest velocity pitch at 99.2 miles an hour, and then dropped a 78.5 mile an hour curveball. That's a difference of 21 miles an hour between his curveball and his fastball. That's tough as a hitter to try to figure out what route are you trying to get.
Yeah, his fastball is explosive, though. He has gotten Nolan twice on sliders. And both times, Nolan came up with a lot of traffic. Bases loaded, nobody out in the first. 2 on and nobody out in the third. So, you know, Nolan had emerged from that funk. He got the day off at home against LA, if you recall. Came back the next day, hit a home run, and then he tore the cover off the ball against Arizona. But on this road trip, it has been tough sledding. He's just 3 for 23 on the trip. Well, this is somewhat reminiscent of last night, a 2-2 ball game last night. And it went 10 innings, and now we're in the 6th inning, tied at 2. Pitch number 87 upcoming. And Nolan didn't identify that out of the hand. That pitch was well off the plate.
I thought he was looking for a slider, because he really reached for this one, just didn't see it at all.
Well, we saw that last night. Nolan last night was 0 for 5 with a couple of strikeouts. He has struck out 5 times in a row. Buehler has a career high 11 strikeouts. I'm wondering if at any time in Nolan's career he ever struck out 5 times in a row.
I know Dougie's looking it up, but I want to say there was a time 2 or 3 years ago where it happened here at Dodger Stadium. He had a run of 6 to 8.
This game can be so painful, and the last time that you want it to be painful, to be going through something like this, is this time of year, especially the way Nolan is wired. I mean, he wants the big at bats.
Kind of be okay. You got another game tomorrow, but now when you're looking at this, is game 152.
This is fought off just foul.
That next pitch will be number 90 for Walker Buehler. Only 3 or 4 times this year he's pitched over 100. That's why out in their bullpen right now they have Scott Alexander, the left-hander, warming up.
I know they have a lot of arms down there, but I wouldn't be in a rush if I was the Dodgers to get him out of there the way he's throwing. 2-2. He threw 105 pitches in his 8 innings of work at Busch Stadium. And then 2 starts previous to that at home against Arizona, he threw 103 pitches.
Might still be trying to manage a little bit the wear and tear on the arm.
Two on Parra. Curveball looks high. It was 3-2.
Ooh, that one
it dropped into the zone, didn't it?
Yeah, just in the top of the Subaru strike zone. But I think Grandal kind of lurched up and then came back down and might have blocked the view of Tony Randazzo.
Out of play.
Well, I know for the Dodgers, they felt a little bit fortunate, even though they lost Walker Buehler for several starts because of the oblique injury he suffered earlier in the season. And it was a great injury to have because it protects his arm, and it gave him that extra space that if they do go playoffs, he's right about his innings limit to begin with.
Yeah, they've been fortuitous. Another foul ball. Yeah, I don't know how this at bat naturally is going to finish, but when we talk about, you know, grinding an at bat out, that's what you're seeing right now from Gerardo Parra. Ten in a row set down by Buehler.
That hit him.
So Parra, when the pain subsides, will limp to first.
It's the 5th time this year that Walker Buehler has hit a batter. Well, nowhere to go either. You start to go after it, then you don't have time to pull the leg up. It's
I thought it
after
hit
the
him
fact.
in the foot originally. It hit him. Yeah, that's right on the bone, man. That's right on his shin. It's going to take a lot to get him out of the game.
Well, right now, too, you've got that initial pain, you have the initial adrenaline rush, you're sweating bullets, and you're trying to see if you can continue.
And it's only going to swell up.
That's where after this half inning, when whatever happens, when he goes back, they'll wrap that to try to keep some of the swelling down.
Doogie's trying to encourage him to run a little bit so he can see it. And I was hoping Gerardo would do the long con and not do anything and steal first pitch.
He's saying he's okay.
No good spot to get hit on, but when you get hit on a bone. So with one out, Parra breaks the string. He'd have preferred just for ball 4 there. Breaks the string of 10 straight retired by Buehler. And Desmond, who provided the Rockies with a huge start, a 2-run, 2-out, bases loaded line single up the middle in the first, will face Buehler for the 3rd time. He also hit a comebacker. Rockies 2, Dodgers 2, both teams with 3 hits. Dodgers have made 2 errors. First pitch Desmond saw. Rockies, remember, had the bases loaded, nobody out. Next 2 guys made outs, and then he smoked that ball up the middle to drive in 2.
Game RBIs number 80 and 81. And that dugout was jumping. Those 2-out knocks get you going.
This is popped up. Dozier makes the catch, and that'll bring up McMahon. When the Rockies score 7 in a ball game or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. McMahon, a strikeout and a ground ball to second. Dougie did a little research. Nolan in 2015 actually struck out in 6 straight at-bats. And it was September of 2015.
Was it at Dodger Stadium?
Good swing by McMahon. Didn't get that bit of information from Doug. Pittsburgh. Home and Pittsburgh. Oh, home versus Pittsburgh. Why don't we just put a microphone on you?
Would make it easier sometimes.
Yeah. Trying to read his lips to speak. Two outs. Boy, you talk about a shift the other way. This is like a LeMahieu shift the other direction. Hernandez is way over in left center field. Kike there.
Yeah, Matt can
hits the ball to dead center
field. Yeah.
Parr, even with the bad wheel's going to score.
Too big of a swing right now for Mac. Cut that down a little bit. They just keep attacking upstairs. Looks inviting, just can't catch up to it.
Next pitch will be the 101st for Buehler. Him again upstairs out of the strike zone. Middle of 6, the Rockies and Dodgers tied at 2. Game, knew that he was staying in a run, and then got a little wrap on where he got dotted by Walker Buehler. The Rockies did make another defensive change. Ryan McMahon comes out of the ball game. Garrett Hampson is in at short, and Ian Desmond goes from short to first. So Hampson, who had an impact last night, reached a couple of times, fielded his position well. He's now in that 7 spot in the lineup. Justin Turner, Manny Machado, Cody Bellinger, 2, 3, and 4 against Anderson. This will probably be Anderson's last inning of work, since he is due to bat second next inning. Depends how things go here, of course. Here's a dominant inning. First guy reaches, you could have him bunt and stay with him. 2 fly balls tonight, 1 to center and 1 to left off the bat of Turner. That's a strike also, 0-2.
Change up.
And Tyler sped up his mechanics. Take a look at this, Huey.
Well, that's the hardest thing to do. Speed up your mechanics to throw a changeup. It's counterintuitive to what you're thinking.
Getting 2 strikes is harder than getting 3, or easier than getting 3 on this guy. Came with a fastball, and that was in a real hittable spot. People have tweeted wondering what's that slash on the back of the jersey over Turner's name. He uses a lot of pine tar, as a lot of guys do, in the middle of the bat. So then when he rests the bat on his shoulder, when he's in the on-deck circle primarily.
If it's normally, you would think it would be on the right shoulder for a right-handed hitter.
Yeah. Scott Oberg's up for the Rockies. 0-2 again.
It's on the left shoulder because he finishes 2 hands, and when the bat finishes, it hits him on the T and the U when he swings.
On the ground, foul.
Advanced Coors Field's a great place for group outings. Groups of 20 or more receive discounted pricing, scoreboard recognition, and more. Call 303 Rockies for more information.
That slider on the back door.
He's clearly out of the Subaru strike zone, but he was trying to bend it to that corner.
One of the favorite pitches of Kyle Freeland. Two and two.
This plate coverage is so good.
Just very, very calm at the plate.
You know, some guys only have like an A swing. They might have a B swing too. I think Justin has a C and D swing as well.
Well, the numbers bear it out. He's been the toughest out in baseball in the second half.
Reached in over half of his plate appearances the last 50 times, 26 for 50.
And it's 3-2. Out of play. Remember, this at bat started with 2 quick strikes.
I wonder, where do you go? Do you go try to go in? Do you try to backdoor it, change up?
That curveball, and that's a walk.
That's what he does to you.
It's a great at bat. There's no other way to accurately describe that. I mean, whatever he threw up there, Turner fouled off. And he sees things and identifies them so early, Spilly.
It's because of his load. He keeps both eyes on the baseball. He has a nice slow load. The timing and rhythm, it's not a big, he doesn't feel like he has to create a lot of force to get his swing through the zone, so he can see the ball as long as possible.
Machado a line out and a ground ball to short. You don't get a ton of ground balls when Tyler's on the mound. He's much more of a fly ball pitcher. A ground ball here would be nice. And maybe he hits his one. Anderson, a good throw on the first, double play.
Why don't you ask for that more often?
My bad.
Words barely came out of your mouth.
That's literally the third ground ball all night.
Well, it came at an opportune time. Right back to Tyler. He set his feet, made a good feed to DJ. DJ was already there. And that is 149 double plays for the Rockies on the season.
Boy, was that big. 2 outs, Bellinger. He has one of the other ground balls. He had a sharp ground ball at DJ, and that's top foul. And then he hit a little pop-up in the infield. How about the job Tyler Anderson's done tonight? This may be it. He's at 90 pitches. Again, he's due up second next inning. But he gave Buddy Black, Steve Foster, Darren Holmes a terrific start. Gotta get one more out, and he will. Desmond's there on a broken bat. And Bellinger will beat on the bat some more, but it won't change things.
Hey, Drew, ask for some runs.
You know what? Let's get Tyler Anderson some runs. Here we go. Time for our Cooney Lexus look back. We are through 6 innings. In the first, Ian Desmond, a 2-out bases loaded single, and the Rockies had a 2-0 lead. Matt Kemp in the second hit a home run to left center to make it 2-1. And then Brian Dozier with a man aboard with double to deep left center, and Kike Hernandez would just beat the relay throw home. And that's where we stand. It is 2-all, very similar to last night. But it'll be about the bullpens once again, because in the 7th inning, Pedro Baez is now on the hill for LA. Walker Buehler, he pitched 6 stupendous innings. He struck out a career best 12. The 2 runs he allowed were unearned. 3 hits, a walk. He did hit a batter. Baez will face Ionetta, and the first pitch is fouled off. Baez had fallen out of favor a little bit in the first part of August. He was struggling, but in his last 14 appearances, he's allowed only 1 run. And here he is, kind of in a familiar spot on the even or plus side of things late in the ball game.
This pitch well at Dodger Stadium too. 165 ERA.
And the Rockies have to try to create some traffic again. Anderson got handshakes. Tapia is in the on-deck circle.
They also have a left-hander warming up still out in the Dodger bullpen. Caleb Ferguson.
Called strike, 1-2.
Scott Oberg still up in the Rockies pen.
In the air to Kemp and right.
I think we're going to have the parade of relievers starting.
Well, they have 15 of them. They're going to wait for Tapia to be announced. Well, the Dodgers have the depth. They can match up all night long, both on the hill and offensively. So Baez comes out. 1 out in the 7th. We're tied at 2.
Tapia and Charlie Blackmon going over some hitting approaches against Caleb Ferguson. Charlie giving his scouting report, what he likes to do. Fastball, good curveball. There's Caleb Ferguson's numbers. Big, heavy fastball, one of Doc Roberts' favorite lefties to use. This is 26 game, 46 1/3, 57 strikeouts, only 12 walks.
Lefty's hitting .217 against him.
That's what you're going to get, 95 on average with the fastball. He'll also drop a curveball on you. The curveball will come in about 76.
And he's just throwing it by Tapia right now, 0-2. is strikeout number 13 tonight by the Dodgers staff. 12 by Buehler. 2 gone. That'll bring up Blackman. Charlie went left on left deep into the night against Kershaw last night. That would work well here. Last night it gave the Rockies at the time a 2-1 lead.
He does have a home run against Ferguson in his career.
Ferguson,
How about
said, I'm not just throwing you a mid-90s fastball.
That's what I say. The difference between a guy that has more experience, he starts him off with that slow curveball. He knew that Charlie was getting the timing on the on-deck circle on his fastball.
And Charlie hits it hard. Out at first base. Good play by Justin Turner over on the right side. Stretch time in LA. We're tied at 2. Pitching performance. Tyler Anderson stepped up in a big way tonight. 6 innings, 2 runs, just 3 hits. Struck out 4, walked 2. 91 efficient pitches as he pushes this game to the bullpen. And the 7th inning, tied at 2. Terrific performance by the former #1 pick of the Rockies out of Oregon. And now the Rockies will hand the baseball to Scott Oberg, and that has been a terrific thing for a while now. He'll face Kemp. Nope, it's going to be Jock Peterson. You know, here come the run of lefties.
Well,
this is where, you know, Buddy and any team is at a disadvantage, because however you want to try to quote-unquote match up, the Dodgers, because of their wealth of talent and overall wealth, they're going to be able to have a counter move for you. So you remove a Matt Kemp, who earlier hit his 20th home run, and they put up Jock Peterson,
who has 20+ home runs.
Well, we spoke of this last night. Jock Peterson on Monday night hit 2 home runs and a double and didn't start the next day.
And Kemp, who already had a home run, and the game gets taken out.
That's right. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Muncy on deck, as you said. He's going to hit for Hernandez. I don't know if I've ever seen this before, to this dramatic, with mainstay players.
I haven't. Where they can just shuffle out. Oh, in Colorado, what was it? 5 straight left-handers they put up there?
Pinch hit, 5
Pinch
in a
hit.
row.
But at the same time, I think the Rockies can play this game if they choose to. The problem has been Oberg has been fantastic. He's been one of the few guys over the last month, even though the bullpen has pitched much, much better. You got to give them that. The month of September, they've been fantastic. But those plus side lefties, the McGee's, the Russins, you could match up, and they're just not getting in those high leverage situations because Oberg has been so good, because Ottavino's been so good.
2-2. That's fouled off. Yeah, the bullpen has pitched to a 256 earned run average in September. They have been much better. The lefties, though, have not been a strength of the Rockies this year. Chris Russin has been better of late, but it's been a tough year for Chris after a brilliant year in 2017. Obviously, Jake McGee has not had the year he wanted. There's Russin and Song-Wan Oh. This is popped up and playable for Iannetta. Good pitch by Oberg, and he dispatches of Peterson. Now another big, strong lefty coming up in Max Muncy.
Hitting for the Dodgers, number 13, Max Muncy.
Now a crowd favorite here in LA.
Well, when
they announced his name in early April, they're like, "Who's this guy, hon?"
Yeah, they got a golf clap in April.
If Muncy hit a home run on Monday. This was the backbreaker, a 3-run shot. And he too wasn't in the starting lineup yesterday. He pinch hit.
Check him.
He went. Wow.
Where was
Looked
the
like
pitch?
he went. Not a lot of protesting going on. Who knows? We showed those all year long.
But that's what I thought. I caught the top of the Subaru strike zone. That's what I was thinking.
2-1. Dodgers 41-36 at home. I bring that up because they've been much better out on the road. In fact, this is their worst home season record-wise, despite the abundance of talent, since 2011.
A lot of those losses happened in early April when the Diamondbacks were on fire. They kept coming into LA and beat up the Dodgers.
Diamondbacks won 9-0 tonight, Spilly. You see the lineup they ran out there against the Cubs?
I didn't get a chance to see it.
The only names that most baseball fans would recognize: John Jay, Nick Ahmed. I don't remember who the
Jeff
third guy
Mathis
was.
with the catcher.
Just missed it.
But no Paul Goldschmidt.
No, Goldsmith, Pollock.
Yeah. Ketel Marte was in there, but
no Peralta. But they won big. 3-1 on Muncy.
be careful here.
Yep. So a 1-out walk, and that'll bring up Grandal from the left side.
Catcher number 9, Yasmani Grandal.
Much better Grandal is from the left side than he is the right side. More power.
Now it's a 77th walk by Muncy. It's something we noticed early on with him.
Well, once you start to hit home runs,
he has the great knowledge of the strike zone. He leads the Dodgers in walks, and he has only 366 at bats. That's awesome. While walking my dog, I can't help but notice that every television's turned to the Rockies game, as it should be. The only thing better than September playoff chase baseball is playoff baseball you're participating in October. And the Rockies trying to put together a Rocktober. And on that note, great tweet, a reminder, get your tickets for the final week of the season with the Phillies in and the Nationals in. Doesn't matter who the Rockies are playing. It's all about supporting Colorado in that final week in that playoff push.
rock your purple, bring it. Players love it.
That's a strike, 1-1 on Grandal. Players talk about that all the time, the energy that they get from the home crowd. And on the road, you know, you're playing in front of a packed house here at Dodger Stadium. Even though 98% of them are against you, you're drawing energy also.
No doubt about it. They're playing in front of 50,000.
Line drive to right, and this is going to be a sliding stop down there by Dahl, and they'll stop Muncy at third on the double by Grandal.
That was a heck of a play by David Dahl in right field. Billy, you know what that corner's like, and he had to go get it and then make the decision. Do I try to wait for it, play it off there, or do I slide and try to knock it down? And he's sliding the whole way onto that dirt.
Well, you almost have to, because if he misses the slide, the way Dodger Stadium's set up, it's symmetrical, and there's a rounded corner with that wall. That would have kicked off the wall and rattled around a bit. Muncy would have scored easily. And that's the problem, and that's why David Dahl and any outfielder that comes here, pay attention during batting practice. As soon as he makes the decision to leave his feet, it was the right one, because if he plays that off the wall, it kicks off and will rattle.
They got an interesting choice now here, guys, with Yasiel Puig coming up. Do you walk him?
Puig's pinch hitting for Dozier.
I think you have to. You
Well,
burn.
you set up the force play, too.
Set that up. You'll get Alex Verdugo will get announced. You can burn him. Or you can set up a left-on-left of the Russin versus Verdugo matchup with the bases loaded.
Well, the Rockies are going to go ahead and pitch to him. There's Verdugo. Ground ball foul. So again, this is another situation of ridiculous depth for the Dodgers. Dozier, who was mired in a 3-for-43 slump coming into the ballgame, hit a ball 400 feet to the wall that Blackman caught, and then he doubled in a run to left center in the fifth. He put together two good at bats, and now he gets to spectate, and it's not a righty-lefty thing. It's Puig on the right side hitting for Dozier, who hits from the right side against a right-handed pitcher.
Puig 6 home runs in September.
He went off in St. Louis Friday and Saturday night in that series.
I think this
hitting 2 and 1 and 3 in the Saturday game.
slider sets up well for Scott here, though.
This ball is hammered to left center field, and he's done it again. 7th home run in September, and he had several off the bench. To LA.
Second home run this season for the CL, and it was a slider. He kind of went and reached for that, but he's so strong, and that's, you know, the danger with somebody like Puig. With 6 home runs in the last 5 games with 12 RBIs.
Second pinch hit home run for Puig, and it is 5-2 LA in the 7th inning. Their ability up and down their lineup and up and down their bench to hit the ball with such frequency over the wall is something we haven't seen much of. You know, you have lineups that, you know, have 2-3 guys that you really are concerned about. There's not a guy in their lineup or a guy on their bench that walks to the plate that you don't think, man, if you make a mistake, they may hit it 430. Russin against Freeze, ball 1.
You threw out the number earlier where there's 7 guys on their club that have 20 home runs or more, correct?
It's a franchise record.
Yeah, but that's not even including Machado or Dozier, because it hasn't been in a Dodger uniform all year long.
That's a great point.
I mean, that's just Muncy, Bellinger, Grandal, Peterson, Puig, Hernandez, and Kemp.
One and two. Poke down the right field line. Dahl will close and make the catch. Boy, Speed never has a bad day, right?
the line. Speed never has a slump.
The fielder, number 3, Chris Taylor.
Chris Taylor. Line out and 2 strikeouts. Goes at bats against Anderson. It's topped foul. Rockies in the 8th inning will have LeMahieu, Dahl, and Arenado.
Probably Kenta Maeda again in the 8th inning.
Maeda was dominant last night. 3 strikeouts. Challenged the Rockies hitters with fastballs all on the outside portion of the plate.
Just 10 pitches.
Billy make a play. No, he can't. Too far for you.
Kid made a play. He's got the old Brooklyn Dodgers hat. Good hat.
Well, one of our favorite photographs at Dodger Stadium is when you walk down the stairs toward the visiting clubhouse. There's the enormous, that's strike 3, picture of Jackie Robinson, photo of Jackie Robinson, the Brooklyn Dodger cap. 3-run pinch hit home run, Yasiel Puig, who turned this from a 2-2 ball game to 5-2 LA. Rockies have to counter in the 8th. Colorado Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get you 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Well, it was a 2-2 ball game, and then Yasiel Puig, who's had an enormous September, particularly with the long ball, hit a 3-run pinch hit home run off Scott Oberg. He's in the game in right field, still hearing it from the crowd. Kenta Maeda's in, and his first pitch is a strike on DJ LeMahieu. DJ is 0 for 3, though he's reached twice because of errors. Here are the changes. Taylor's in the game at second, Freeze at first, Puig, Bellinger, and Peterson right to left in the outfield. Rockies have been limited to 3 hits Dodgers have only 5, but that's their MO. They hit balls over the fence. Kemp earlier, a solo home run, and then the big blow, the 3-run home run a few minutes back by Puig.
You also had a walk in that inning to Max Muncy. Then Grandal hitting left-handed. Hits one to right field.
Get some traffic and find a way to produce some hits that have been so elusive with runners in scoring position on this road trip. And the Rockies got off to a fast start tonight. They loaded the bases with nobody out, and then they were in peril of not scoring at all when Nolan struck out and Parra hit a little squibber that produced an out at the plate. DJ's got it. Desmond came through the 2-run single in the first, but nothing since then. In fact, the Rockies have had only 3 base runners since then. DJ reaching on an error in the third. Dahl right behind that with a base hit. Remember the Rockies there had 2 on, nobody out. Again, Nolan, who's in a slump, struck out. Parra struck out. Desmond hit a comebacker. The only other base runner since then was Parra, who got drilled on a 3-2 pitch in the leg in the 6th inning. That's it. And the Rockies have struck out 14 times tonight. No swing.
I was just going to say already, you see a little bit different pitch sequence from Maeda tonight after last night. As Billy was saying, 10 pitches, all of them were fastballs. He was just coming in, just say, hit it if you can. Tonight already 3 off-speed pitches of the first 6.
One and two.
Well, the Japanese windup, they build momentum. The little pauses that they have are to create more momentum through their mechanics, so he can get in line, and it creates some timing issues for any hitter.
He went 2 strikeouts to begin for Maeda. And again, yesterday in 10 pitches, he had 3 strikeouts.
Hey, fans, enjoy the fan appreciation fireworks at Coors Field on September 28th. Come for the game against the Nationals and stay for an electrifying fireworks show courtesy of T-Mobile. All fans will also receive a 2019 magnet schedule courtesy of T-Mobile.
So Nolan, who has struck out 3 times tonight, 5 straight times overall. One and 0. Rockies as a team tonight, they've struck out 15 times. It's the 5th time this year they've struck out 15 or more in a game. And that's a fair ball off the very end of the bat. And Nolan, down by 3 runs, will stop at first base.
Sometimes you just need a little something to go your way individually for Nolan. Maybe this is it. A little cue shot. He's looking up in the air. He didn't know where it went. I mean, not quite like that home run he hit in Houston. But nonetheless, he'll take it at 59 miles an hour off the bat.
Maeda comes out. We'll come back. 5-2 LA.
7th catch any of these games with a Coca-Cola value pack. You get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, parking, and more, all for only $59 or $79, depending on your seat location. Well, new pitcher for the Dodgers, Scott Alexander, warmed up a couple times tonight, but since his recall from AAA Oklahoma City back on May 9th, 2.73 ERA, 45 Ks and just 17 walks.
Matt Holliday will pinch hit for Gerardo Parra here against Alexander. And Matt hits it on the ground to second, and that's all for the Rockies in the 8th inning. They trail 5-2. Pinch hit 3-run home run with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Right now is the difference in this ball game. Bottom of the 8th inning, it'll be Sungwon Oh, his first appearance in a while. He had a strain of the hamstring that kept him out.
Well, it's been exactly 10 days for Oh. Last time was September 9th, the game against these Dodgers. The 3rd of an inning, gave up a hit, a walk.
Noah Cuevas is in left field. Takes over for Parra. Turner, Machado, and Bellinger. And that's a strike on Turner. 0 for 2 and a walk. Tyler Anderson did a great job tonight. 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 3 hits. Walker Buehler was outstanding for the Dodgers. 2 unearned runs, 6 innings. He struck out 12 Rockies. But at some point, as we say, you can't just keep tipping your cap at the other team's starting pitcher. The Rockies offense has produced 9 runs in almost 6 full games now on this road trip.
Well, just think about this road trip, and you take John Gray's 6 runs that he gave up. Just take that out of the equation. In San Francisco, the starting pitchers gave up 2 runs in one game, 3 runs, 1 run. And then yesterday, just 2 runs. And again, 2 runs tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at those numbers, you're thinking, well, at the very least, you're at a 500 situation on the trip. This has been a different year. It's been all about the starting pitching as to why the Rockies are in a position to make the postseason again. And their offense, you know, if you've been following the Rockies, has been largely inconsistent. 4th in the National League in runs scored. Be the first time since 2013 they didn't lead the National League in runs. 2-2 on Turner, fouled off. And unfortunately here, coming off a great homestand, 7-3, where they swung the bats great, they've gone out in the most important road trip of the year, Spilly, and the offense, you know, almost across the board hasn't been there.
Bad time to lose the offense.
Hampson.
Well, the Rockies are currently taking deposits for the 2019 suites and party facilities called 303 Rockies today.
Rockies are hitting 152 on this trip.
I mean, there's times where you have a long homestand, 10 days, you're going to have that next road trip where you see a significant decrease in offense. It happens all the time. I experienced it. Not making excuses for the team. AT&T Ballpark that last weekend, not an easy place to get hits. The hits that the Giants had that produced runs were not hit hard, but you still have to find a way. There's not a lot of walks from this team. They never had that type of approach if you're looking at a comparison to the Dodgers. And the amount of guys right now swinging and feeling confident with their swing, it's just not there.
Machado breaks his bat, hits it to DJ. 2 outs. Let me ask you this: how tough is it? And we've talked about this a considerable amount of time over the years. How tough is it to make an adjustment going from altitude to sea level, as you're suggesting in your approach? Can you have 2 approaches? Can you have your Coors Field approach and then quickly make an adjustment when you go out on the road?
Yes, you can, but it's also about personnel. I mean, you leave the Dodgers personnel, it's their personality to take walks and swing for the fences. That's just the people that they have. You're asking that's their normal approach. You're asking guys to change their approach. It's a little difficult.
Jake McGee will come on board. We'll take a timeout. 5-2 LA. Opening on bottom of the 8th inning for Los Angeles. Cody Bellinger's coming up. Jake McGee is going to be asked to retire him. Lefties have hit to a .314 average against McGee this year. And that's one of the reasons when we were talking earlier about matching up, it's been more difficult for the Rockies and Bud Black to do that here. A lot of times Musgrave's become his go-to lefty. Musgrave did pitch in the game on Monday. He gave up that 3-run home run to Muncie.
But that's where you're at. If you have that where you think, well, this is a good matchup, you could have flipped Grandal to hit right-handed. There's some ifs and buts, which you could have done. But if you are looking at this, Scott Oberg has been so good in this second half, and it's unfortunate that he gave up the home run because he is the guy. I mean, last night he comes in and locks it down. He has been rock steady.
Yeah. Oh, 2. 1-2. So the Rockies in the 9th inning have Desmond, Hampson, Iannetta scheduled.
Kenley Jansen is ready to go out in the Dodger pen.
This is a tough play for Nolan, and he makes it. Fantastic play to end the 8th inning by Arenado. So the Rockies down 3 as we go to the 9th inning. We're going to pause for a moment. See if there's a review. There is not. Ball and glove clearly before Bellinger's foot came down. Fine play again by Nolan. We'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies need a big rally. All right, it'll be Kenley Jansen in the 9th inning, naturally, for Los Angeles. And the Rockies will have Ian Desmond leading it off. Desmond drove in the 2 runs the Rockies have on the board way back in the 1st inning. Knight got off to a terrific start. But as we have talked about, nothing happening offensively after the 1st inning. The Rockies have 2 singles after that 1st inning. They have 4 singles on the evening.
Jansen pitched the 9th inning of the game last night. Gave up a hit and had 1 strikeout.
And this is a slowly hit ball. Turner, did he get him? They say he did.
Definitely look at this one. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Go ahead.
Shortstop, number 1, Garrett Hampson.
This little lean.
Ball in glove, I think slightly in front of
Be a better
when the
look.
ball hit the, when the foot hit the bag. They're going to look at it though. I mean, umpire
Might as
review.
well.
Call on the field is under review.
As soon as that ball touches leather,
Colorado is challenging the call on the field. The batter
that's
runner.
pretty close because Turner just barehanded this ball. One more look. Would that ball go into the glove? And I think he got it in the glove before that heel hit the bag. Well, first it was a jam shot from Ian. I thought for a second when it got by Jansen it was going to be okay, but Turner, heck of a play to barehand it and throw it, allowing David Freese to make the stretch.
Yeah, I'm with you. Once it cleared Jansen, I thought it was going to be an infield hit. Turner made a good play. He's out at first.
Foul stands. The batter runner is
So
out.
1 out, and Garrett Hampson will come up. Iannetta is behind Hampson. The Rockies have Cargo on the bench. That's the most prominent left-handed bat remaining. Cargo in the background, hoping for an opportunity. Hampson reached a couple of times yesterday. Started at shortstop, had a walk and a base hit. 1 for 2. So stole a base. Scored one of the Rockies 2 runs.
You know he's going to give you a good at bat. We saw that last night against Kershaw. Fell behind a couple times, 1-2. Ended up working a walk once. A little soft floater to right center field.
And that cutter on the outside corner. 1-2. Two gone in the ninth. Who Wants Tacos? Fans, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies score 7 or more in a game. Let's take a look at the pitching matchups coming up down in Arizona. The Rockies will have a day off on Thursday, and they're going to have to make hay against everybody else. This 3-day set in LA didn't go well. It's Marquez and Greinke, Senzatella and Corbin, Freeland and Godley. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Chase Field. And based on how the Arizona Diamondbacks went about things on tonight, they've kind of thrown in the white flag. But inside the division, they're going to play it straight.
Well, the Dodgers have the Padres coming into town.
The Padres have given the Dodgers a lot of fits. But looking at this Rockies dugout right now, it's obviously a lot of disappointed faces, a lot of disappointed body language. This was an opportunity to come in and really have a chance to take a division. If you wanted it, it was there. And unfortunately for the Rockies, they're not playing their best, cleanest brand of baseball. This Dodger team is. They are overwhelming right now.
2-2. Well, the Dodgers got the big blows. They showed a great deal of confidence and swagger in game one. And however you want to describe how the Rockies went about things, whether it was tightness or they just didn't perform, a bad 3 days, however you want to describe it, it's tough to watch. And this is going to be the 27th out. The Dodgers win tonight 5-2. They sweep the Rockies. The series began with the Rockies in front by a half game in the NL West, and now the Rockies will depart 2.5 out. And the calendar dwindling in terms of games left on the season. Just 10 left for Colorado. The winning pitcher tonight, Caleb Ferguson. The losing pitcher, Scott Oberg. Jansen picks off his 36th save. The Rockies struck out 16 times tonight. That certainly did not help. They didn't have a runner past second base after the first inning in which they got their 2 runs. Again, the final score, Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium tonight, 5-2 over the Rockies. The Rockies fall to 82-70. The Dodgers are now 85-68. We go back to Denver, Toyota Studios, and here is Jenny and Corey. Jenny?